up, catfish people? How you doing? I'm out on the lake fishing, getting my stuff together right now, getting organized here for this live stream. Pour me a nice cold sun drop, diet sun drop, by the way. Give you guys a chance to show up in here. So get this in. Just throw me a thumbs up or a hello once some people get in here. The fishing magician, he's live. What's up, brother? Welcome to the hood. Hope you're doing well, fishing magician. There we go. People are rolling in now. Tons of them. Palmetto cats, yo, yo, yo. What is up, my brother? I'll give you a few minutes. I'll let you know where I'm at. Hello, everyone that is jumping in. I hadn't gone live in a while. It's a good day. It's kind of cloudy. Wind's not horribly bad. Yes, Jello chicken is in the boat. I've caught one fish so far, 16 pounds, and it came on Jello chicken. So, I'll give everybody else a second to get in here. So maybe we got, and I'll give you all an update on where I'm at, where I'm fishing with, what I'm fishing for. Blah, 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 blah. So, hang on just a second. I'm counting on you guys to tell me when I get a bite back there. There's been a couple of my videos lately where I've been doing my little stand-up or intro and there's rods going off in the back, so it's kind of funny. But anyway, I am, got a runny nose. I'm fishing on Lake Wylie. I'm on the lower end of Lake Wylie, the big water. We are dragging through about 40 feet of water right now. I'm drifting. Water's 47 degrees. 6 rods in the water. On this side, the starboard side, weighing in at 3 rods. 2 Catfish Pro rods on bait casting reels and 1 PC Fun Viper X reel is cut perch, fresh perch. On this side, weighing in at 3 rods, 2 on B&M with Ancient Mariner bait casters and 1 on a big Cat Fever with a PC Fun carnivore spinning reel. The red side, strawberry Jello. So, just remember, port side, red. Think of your lights on your boat. Port wine is red. Red lights, that side of the boat. Chicken, this side, the strawberry. So, that's what we got going. I am drifting through here. I get my motor tuned back up here. Trolling motor's in the water. Got a drift sock out. Trying to keep it about 0.5. I came over here to the main lake. I'm on I'm right adjacent to the river channel. Sitting here looking on the sonar exactly where I'm at. Just adjacent to it. I'm on the flat between here and the bank that you can see behind me. Seeing what's in here. This water's kind of dingy. It's not muddy, but it's pretty dingy. So I'm gonna see if I get bit here. I've had guide trips the past few days and we've done pretty good, but it's been back up in the creeks. I really haven't fished the river channel too much, but we got a good wind for it right here where we're at. It's kind of out of the east. It's gonna blow me straight upstream. I'd rather be going kind of with the current because they are moving water. They're moving water continuously through here, but I'm kind of gonna go this way with the wind. So that's kind of the battle plan. Like I said, the fish I've caught on the guide trips have been further into the creeks. May end up there before it's over with, but I wanted to come out here and give it a try. There's arches out here. They're not super huge. The problem in the creek is there is a lot of bait in there. There's a lot of bait, a lot of arches. That's kind of going to be the video that I'm shooting out here today is what it's about. And I believe there's too much bait. And what I mean by that is, if you're not putting out exactly what those fish are feeding on, which is small threadfin, this year's hatched threadfin, you're probably not going to get bit. And I just spent an hour and a half fishing through there, and I caught 1 blue cat covered in mud, and that was it. And that was actually away from the massive schools of bait. So I think there's too much bait. So what I decided to do was come out here and get away from it. Where I was finding fish yesterday was away from some of those big, massive schools of bait. So yes, I think you can have too much bait. There are a lot of crappie fishermen back there. There's crappie in the area. I didn't see any rods moving. I never seen anybody stand up. So again, I think there may be too much for them to feed on, and that can make fishing tough. This could be a time of day bite too. We fished, I think, 2 hours yesterday on yesterday's guide trip. Never caught a fish. And I had a young fellow with me and his dad, and I think he was 9 or 10. I think his biggest fish was 10 pounds. And I was thinking, man, I hope we can beat this. I never say we're going to beat it because you never know what's going to happen. But after about 2 hours, I was wondering, and then he caught a 31-pound flathead, which was awesome. There's a picture of that on my Facebook page, Dieter Melhorn Fishing, so go check that out. So, but don't check it out now. Hang around for a little while. So we caught that one, went into a creek, and we picked off some more fish, some blues up in the 20s. So ended up being a good day, but it was later in the afternoon when it happened. So I don't know if it's a time of day bite. We're gonna see. We're gonna fish. So let's see what else going on here. Wayne was asking, yes, Wayne, I am on Wylie. How's the bite out there today? Dieter Raymond is asking, it's not good so far. But let me say this about the bite. It's like I told the guys on the guide trips this week. We've been catching normally 5 to 7 fish. Yesterday we caught 9, so it was a little bit above average. You know, so that's kind of what the bite's been. It's been about a fish an hour, which is not on fire. Yesterday was above that, and it was above that in average size, which was really cool. Where the 10, 11, 12-pound fish were yesterday, I have no idea. We were either catching 20s and 30s or, you know, 4 and 5. So I don't know where those intermediate fish are. That's kind of what I'm looking for out here. So, but yeah, hopefully that answers your question. What motor you run on your boat? That right there is a Suzuki 90 horsepower 4-stroke. It is, I think, 13 years old now. It's probably got 1,700 hours on it or so, and still running great. I'm gonna upgrade probably here this spring in the next few weeks and go with just a 115. I just want to put something bigger on here. I'm doing more and more guide trips now, so carrying people, it's nice to have a little bit of extra horsepower and oomph and kick. So I'm gonna go to a 115. I will go with another Suzuki. I've been thoroughly impressed with their motors, and good motors. Somebody was asking, what size test line do I use? I use 30-pound Andy is what I got on here right now. I buy a big massive spool of it, like a 2-pound spool, and I can spool it up for a long time. I've got a variety of rods. This one here is a medium action Big Cat Fever rod. I've been using these for a while now, since they came out with these white ones. And this is a PC Fun Chaos Reel on this one, but I got a variety of different stuff back here. I've got these are some B&M rods. It's like a pointer. I like this. And then this is a one of the Catfish Pro rods and reels there. So a little variety of stuff. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Thanks for dropping in the super chat stuff there. I appreciate you doing that. Much appreciated. It goes to pay for bandwidth. That's what I always joke about and say. And it's a good support of the channel. Any of you guys that support the channel through super chats, I appreciate it. I thank you a lot. If you need more bang for your buck and want something in your hands, I always tell people, go to my website. And there's stuff on there that you can buy through affiliate links, and I get a percentage of that. So, you know, if you're wanting to do something like that to support the channel, it is much appreciated. One of those things I'm going to show you in a second that the people at Hybrid Light sent me, that was pretty cool. I just figured out what it did. I didn't know everything it did, but let me get some questions first here. Let's see what else is in here. Nice to see you guys. Mine's a little cold-natured in the morning. How about yours? Evan, no, this motor fires right up and is ready to go. I mean, it's it's really a one-turn start on this motor. It's never a, I never have to really work it or anything to get it up and going. So it's been good. Knock on wood. There's some wood somewhere on this boat, I think. It's been a really good motor, so I've been very happy with it. Blues today. 2 questions. What do you think about Slime Cat rods? And where should I get some blue cats this time of the year? That's Fishing Adventures with Donnie. Well, first of all, slime cat rods, I use some in some of my videos. I like the action on them. I like the length of the handle on them. That was pretty cool. That's one of the things that stood out with me on them. I don't have them on here today. I've actually rotated some stuff around to get these spinning reels in here that I've been wanting to show you guys, but I liked them. Where are you gonna find fish at? That's a good question. That's what I'm trying to figure out. As I've told the people on these guide trips, stuff seems to have moved and varied day to day on where they're at. So I probably would start in the creeks, even though you're probably wondering, I'm sitting out here at a river channel. Why am I at a river channel? Well, the creeks seem to have produced better for me, and that's where I would be starting about midways. Palmetto cats, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yes, super chats are more fun than going and buying some stuff. So I appreciate that, man. I know Palmetto Cats, y'all check his channel out because he's doing a really cool thing with, and I just saw Muddy River come in and throw in some coins in here into the pile. I appreciate that. Muddy River's a part of it. A thing with the Catfish Conference. That's the first thing we're gonna be seeing them at. Coming up in a couple of weeks, they're gonna be doing kind of a virtual catfish conference since it's not happening this year. So Muddy River Catfish, and check out their channel. Make sure you're subscribed because you're going to be subscribed to him and Palmetto Cats for two reasons. The first one is going to be that because they're going to be doing some stuff from the Catfish Conference, some virtual seminars. There's going to be vendors on there selling stuff, showing off products, new stuff. Firecat, thank you for jumping in there with that. Mucho gracias. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How was that, Muddy River, for my little Spanish? It wasn't too good, was it? No, it's kind of butchered it. Yeah, I won't do that again. Anyway, they're going to be doing the stuff, the virtual Catfish Conference. And then we've got the tournament, the viewer tournament coming up. When is that, in March? Y'all throw the date up there. I hadn't even got thought that far ahead. Or is it March? Yeah, I think it's third week of March. You'll be hearing a lot more from me on that. Muddy River's going to be in it. Steve Douglas is going to be in it. I'm going to be in it. I'm trying to think who else is going to be in there fishing. There's going to be several people fishing, and we're going to be live streaming for like 4 hours. So it's going to be kind of cool. You'll be able to hop back and forth. I've got a link up there that'll show it March 13th. Yes, that's it, guys. So yeah, make sure you check out Palmetto Cats and follow his channel. Plus, he does some really the best live shows in our little niche right now. He has raised the bar and upped the game. He did the award show a little while back. He's bringing in multiple guests, and I thought I heard something move. So it's really cool what he's doing, and I like watching it, and you never know what he's going to do. He had a trivia day the other day, and what was it? Or he was doing trivia. He's got a bunch of cool stuff, so follow him. And Muddy River, everybody knows who he is, so I don't know, he's already got a silver play button, so he's big time. But yeah, it's going to be cool what's going on with the tournament. So somebody asked what lake. Yes, I am on Lake Wylie. And it's kind of muddy. It's kind of dingy water. We've had a lot of rain, and I say a lot of rain. We've had consistent rain. So they've had to move a lot of water through the system. And it's kept the entire lake muddy. So what is your favorite catfish base? Texas Rangers is asking. It's my chicken. My Jello chicken. Now, I joke about that, but I will say this. It consistently has caught more fish than fresh cut bait, whether that be white perch, which are native to our lakes, or gizzard shad. And I've been fishing it side by side, and I've been doing this since back in the fall. I do like it. I do like it. It's an amazing bait for what it is and how easy you can get it. And what amazes me is how many people it totally crawls underneath their skin and their fingernails and just irritates them that, one, I use it, two, other people like it and use it, and three, we're catching fish on it. I'm talking like tournament fishermen that are just like upset that we're catching fish on this stuff. It is not a cure-all by any means. It is not better than anything else. It's not going to produce any bigger fish than anything else. but it catches fish. It does produce more fish, or it has for me. So I don't know if this happens everywhere. I think, and I'll go ahead and let y'all a little story, or a little info. I'm going to be having a podcast and a video explaining some of this from a scientific standpoint, but I think some of it has to do with this thing. Let me show you. It's in my live well. I think it has to do with these little fellas. See that? That's a snail. That's right. Yeah, I'm no scientist, but that's a snail. It's an aquatic snail. We've got them in our waterways. I'm sure some of you have them in yours. We also have Asiatic clams in here. What do they call them? The something heel cutters. We got a bunch of these little mollusks that live in our waterways. Wow, Dreadful Fishing Outdoors, thank you. That is very nice. I Run Chicken as well, works in Oklahoma. And that's a very good point. Let me put him back in there. I keep him as a sample to show people on guide trips what I'm talking about. But I caught him in the cast net somehow one day. But anyway, now Dreadful Fishing, you're staying in Oklahoma. I assume, chiming in the chat, y'all have, I guess, clams, mussels, snails, all that kind of stuff in there. I assume, I think that's the connection there. I think that's what makes this bait work, and I think it all comes down to a whole bunch of stuff that is much simpler science. It's so much simpler. I think we overcomplicate what we're doing with bait to a certain extent, and I think we give fish too much like intelligence, like they're making a conscious decision on a menu. Like I like the fillet better than I do the ribeye. I think it's much simpler than that, and I think it comes down to they're able to detect and sense these amino acids and concentrations of amino acids, and I think that's what it comes down to. And yeah, shad's great. Listen, if you can catch shad easily where you're at, use it. It's great bait. You'll catch fish on it. But like I've said to many of these people who poo-poo the idea of using chicken, all right, my viewers are people trying to learn about catching fish, and that's who I'm trying to help. And most of them don't have a boat. I mean, most of you guys are bank fishermen, okay? I'm blessed to have a boat and be able to do this on a boat. So, you know, there's an advantage. I've got access, I can fish the whole lake, okay? If you're bank fishing, you got narrow little places where you can fish. So asking these people to go out and be able to catch bait and throw a net, and it's like people are trying to make the fishing experience so much more complicated and hard and unfun, and you just don't look forward to it. I'm trying to make it a little more simple so you get out there and fish. You get addicted to fishing, you start loving it, then you know what? You may buy a boat, you may learn how to throw a cast net, then you can do all that other stuff. But for now, just go fish. If it means going to get you some chicken breasts and some Jello, somebody was asking about the Jello recipe. I'll tell you that in a second. Go fish, man. They're shooting at me. They're shooting at me. That's great. That was a gunshot. No, it's fireworks, I think. But yeah, go fish. And that's why I do this stuff with the Jello. I just want to see you guys get out and fish. You get out there and you catch one, you catch it on Jello, you might get addicted to it. So that'll be a good thing. So don't let that keep you from, I don't want the fear of not having bait to keep people from going fishing, because you can go fishing with a $1.25 chicken breast. I buy a pack of them for $6. There's usually 4 or 5 of them in there. It's going to cost you $1.25 to go. Okay, a dozen shad where I'm at. Okay, Jamie K Outdoors down here in Fort Lawn, South Carolina sells them. A dozen of them, $7, and they're not big. They're that big. Okay, that's what you're getting. $7. Okay, I can fish a week and a half on $7 worth of chicken breast. So, but some people want that. They want the shad. That's what they want. Or, you know, if you can throw a cast net and you're good at it, go throw the net and catch. I still do it myself. So that's the thing. I still do it. So, but I also fish with this because it's out producing the other baits that I have. So anyway, that's my rant on chicken. So all you chicken haters, that right there, Palmetto Cats needs to go back and grab that and turn that into an audio meme, okay? And or that would be good. So, or a GIF, a little GIF there. So save that one. All right, where were we? Somebody's asking about Lake Norman. I've not been to Lake Norman. I have not been up there and fished. Normally by now, I have been up there and done some fishing, but I haven't done it this year. I've varied so much stuff around here and making videos and content, and just haven't done it yet. So haven't heard anything from up there. I'm sure it's probably a lot of creek fishing. Mac Byram, who has a YouTube channel on here, one of my mentors, he's catching some fish. Seems like an afternoon bite too for him. So I think that may be what's going on up there. I know they've been killing the hybrids and stripers. I say killing them, they're catching them. Typical, you know, trolling Alabama rigs like most people do. Let's see. What is a good time to start catfishing during the fall or winter when you fish the Arkansas River? Stephen, I don't know anything about the Arkansas River. I can't tell you that. I will tell you this. There's never a bad time to start in the fall. Fall fishing is always good, especially when those temperatures, you know, daylight starts getting a little bit shorter, temperatures start to fall a little bit. It's usually some of the best fishing any time of the year is in the fall. Fall and spring are pretty much similar. Winter and summer are pretty much similar in some of their patterns and stuff. So let's see here. No luck with Jello chicken in Illinois. Levi says he hadn't, and that's the thing. If I could get Tyson Chicken to sponsor me, I would go on a road trip this spring and travel the country and see where this bait works. I think it would be really interesting to see how it happened. Oh, the thing about how I make it, it's not complicated. Cut it up into little bitty chunks. Where's my magic bait? Just take chicken breast, cut it into chunks. I just use scissors. It's really easy. You can see how big it is. That's a chunk. It's, you know, the size of the end of my thumb. Okay. Put it into put about 8 or 10 pieces into a bag. Sprinkle the powdered Jello onto it. Cut up some more. Put them in there. Sprinkle it in there. And what you do is get a bunch in there. Jello's cheap. It's 70 cents a bag. You get some air in there, and then you just shake it up. Like that. Do the shake. Jello shake. And it gets it all mixed up. It's easy. Isn't that easier than throwing a cast net, Lyle? Huh? Isn't that easier? Oh, look at that. Yeah. Yeah, you got that cast net action. That's it. So anyway, you shake it up, and you can't use too much. Like I said, it's cheap. And that's it. You don't have to cook it. You don't have to put it in the fridge. You don't have to do any of that other stuff. So there you go. Somebody said make sure you got a way to clean your hands. So that's very true, because you can get salmonella. It has salmonella, so you don't want to be eating stuff after, you know, you don't want your hands in your mouth. So having a good way, either some wipes or washing your hands, or the biggest thing is just keep your hands out of your mouth. That's the biggest thing. So there we go. But that's all there is to it. It's real simple. It's very easy. And I'll be honest with you guys, you can probably do it just fine without the Jello. The gelatin, when you see the video of doing this, I think the gelatin, because it comes from pork products, there's a concentration of amino acids. There's some argument made that it helps bond some of those amino acids to the stuff, but I don't think the sugar or the color has anything to do with it. I think the color, especially in water like this, these fish can't even see what they're eating. So the red color is not like blood. The bottom line is that fish, there's this thing with catfish and blood and stuff that doesn't make sense in trying to use it. Is that right doing something? I've seen that one move. It's really, catfish aren't like sharks in that they encounter bloody stuff in the water. It just doesn't really happen because we don't have like toothy fish in the ocean eating stuff and tearing it apart. So, you know, getting keyed in on blood outside of the proteins that are in it, I don't think it's really that big of a thing. So I don't think the color plays a part. So anyway, let's see what else we got in here. Thanks for all the super chats, guys. It's very much appreciated. If you listen to drive in Knoxville, have you seen those mussels on the bank or for loud, but I just bank fish. And Gary, that's the thing, you know, that's the thing with mussels. They're not necessarily everywhere in the water that you're fishing. There are areas where there's more concentrations than others, and a lot of that has to do with the bottom, water flow, all that kind of stuff. So there's some areas on the lake where we seem to have a concentration of fish. Getting ready to drag through one here where I've got a couple of waypoints, and I think it's mussel oriented. I think there are mussels in that area. That's why those fish are in those areas, why they get caught there in certain times of the year, and I think that is what is going on there. So Sharina, keeping it real. Sharina, I hope I don't miss your next live fishing thing. think it was fishing the other day or something when you did your live. I really wanted to see that. It's cool that you are out there doing some live stuff and showing people that you're out having a good time and doing some fishing. In a what had me nervous when I went back and watched it, where you were at, that bank looked like it was really slick, and I was scared you was going to slide into the river. So get you some little cleats or something on your shoes before you go to that place, because that looks slick. Or tie a rope around you or something. I'd tie it to the bridge or something in case you go sliding down that hill, you can get back up. 'Cause it had me worried. Had me worried. So anyway, let's see what else we got in here. Do. Mad Catter Catfishing. Raymond, come on. We'll get out here and get on the water at some point. Catfishing Dreams, good afternoon. By the way, temperature right here today, we're in the 50s. I know some of you guys in some parts of the country, you got nothing but ice. We got 46.7 degree water. So, see what's down here. Are you on Wylie Day, and how was the bite? Vic, yes, I am on Wylie. I bring people up to date because I know people jump in here repeatedly during the thing. It's bad. I've got one fish. I got one fish. It was about 16 pounds. We didn't get it in the video. That was before I got here. I've repositioned. I'm dragging a channel edge, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. Let me get to my chart here. Let me get to my chart and show you exactly what I'm doing. Exactly what I'm doing. Let's see if we can do this without messing anything up. Let's go here. Let's turn this. Boom. There we go. All right, you can see where I'm at here. That's where the boat's at. For you guys that don't know how to read a topographic map, or can't read a map, period, these are contour lines, and they show changes in depth. And in between each line, I believe on this one is 2 feet. So anytime you see a place where lines get steep, this is the bank. You can see these lines are close together. That means it's getting real steep. Where they're far apart, like right in here, there's virtually no change is what you're seeing. And that's where I'm at. That's what I call a flat. It's flat adjacent to the river channel before you get to the bank. And that's where I'm at, sitting in 39, 40 feet of water. So right here is the actual old river channel coming through here. Okay, this is where the river was. It's a little feeder branch that comes in there out of a drainage right through there. There's another bigger creek on up there. But what we're going to do is parallel this for a little bit, and at some point I'm going to make a turn and get back over here. These are some waypoints here of some fish that I've caught before. I usually put waypoints in anything that are teener or bigger. So some fish there. I think there's something in here, muscle bitty or something, but that's kind of the plan. We're going to make a drag up through here, maybe make a turn. I thought the wind may pull me that way, but I think we got enough current. The current's going this way. The wind is going this way. So it's not the ideal situation when you're drifting. It's ideal in that you can go really, really slow through here. I do have a drift sock out the back. And that's kind of the setup on what we got. We will look at what the Sonar is telling us. Boom, there's all kinds of stuff there. Looks tasty, doesn't it? Some bigger fish up here. That's a good arch, okay? That's a good signature. That's got some density to it. When you see that kind of yellow in there, that's a lot better than this. But the bottom line is, ain't none of these rods moving even with that. Hey, Michael, thank you, man. That is awesome, dude. Thanks for this and all the advice you give. I try, brother, and I appreciate you doing that. It's very kind of you. Sorry they branded you with pink, or did you pick that? I like pink because I got a pink reel. Maybe that's for Pinky. So thank you, Michael. Much appreciated. But yeah, there's some fish in here, so that's kind of what's happening. Let's spin this back around here. Get this back up here. Yeah, Michael, very kind of you. Very nice. Mucho gracias. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Somebody's gonna yell at me for my horrible Spanish. Let's see, somebody asked me something about, what is your opinion on chumming spots? John, we tried that with one of my buddies. I got a buddy up at the boat ramp that fishes. He may be watching right now. We tried putting some corn out. I put some corn out right there in front of where he fishes. And I don't think he had a whole lot of luck with it. But that can be a seasonal thing too. Fish have to find it. And if, you know, we were putting it out from a casting distance from the bank, and this time of year, there's not a lot of fish moving up that shallow. So I think chumming will work. Chumming will bring in fish. Some of the bigger fish I've caught this year, I have had, they pooped out corn when they got in the boat. And There are no cornfields that are flooded, so it's from people putting it out. Most of the people that put it out are actually baiting ducks, believe it or not, which is illegal. But that's where most of it comes from. So it does work. Fish will come to it. Fish will eat it. And I think that will work. As far as putting out meat, fish, chicken, all that kind of stuff, it gets kind of expensive. I think some of the soured grains and corn and that kind of stuff is probably a more affordable option if you're going to try doing some chumming. So, and I'm sure I'm falling down the bank. I'm the one that goes down after. There you go, Thomas. That's good. I just don't want anybody getting wet this time of year, man. It's cold. You don't want to be getting wet. So that's cool. That is cool. They branded it in pink. Well, Michael, that's cool. That one sticks out. So that's much appreciated, man. The colors change with the amount of money. Oh, cool. Okay. Thank you, Palmetto. I don't know any of that. Also, Eastern Kentucky Hill Boy. Hey, James, what are you up to? Ryan's asking, am I sob or knob? I am sob today. For y'all that don't know, that is code word on Lake Wylie for, we got a bridge that spans the lake about a little bit above the middle, and it's called the Buster Boyd Bridge. So we always refer to it as Sob, south of Buster Boyd, or Knob, north of Buster Boyd. And I'm south. I'm actually, I'll show you where I'm at. Y'all know me, I ain't big on secrets. That right there is Allison Creek. That right there is the main channel going back up the lake. So I'm right in front of, what's it called? Tiga Cave. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, Allison Creek, Ebenezer's right over here to that side. So right here in kind of the big water. Like I said, I'm gonna try getting into some of that deeper stuff. The river channel. See, there's a lot of stuff on the edge here, but man, it just ain't happening. Somebody asked, do I fish any up toward Plant Allen? Plant Allen's a steam plant on the upper end of the lake. Yes, I do. I fish this lake from dam to dam, basically. Depending on the time of the year and what's going on, depends on where I fish. So I've had better luck down here. Typically in the winter, I've had luck up there, but I spent a lot of time on this end of the lake this year. And I think it's probably because the north end of this lake is, what's this? Oh, I got a news flash. Chief's assistant, oh, something about the Chief's assistant coach was under investigation for something. What did he do wrong? News before the Super Bowl. But anyway, we've had a lot of water moving through the system, so there's a lot more current up that way, and I think that's, it just makes our fish go on lockdown when that happens. So, you know, long periods. But you guys on the Tennessee River experience the same thing when you get that constant water flow for a long period of time. So, Josh was asking, do I ever use shiners? No, I really don't. I've used them some for, you know, messing around with some hybrids and some spotted bass and stuff, but I generally don't. I think they're expensive, and I think the return on your investment is better using chicken, to be perfectly honest. Do you have a favorite Jello flavor, or have you tried different flavors? Honestly, haven't. Who was asking that question? Get your name. It was Jeremy asking about the flavors. I really haven't. I went with the strawberry. I'm going to be honest. I didn't invent this either, by the way, guys. This is not something that's like, you know, some genius on my part. This has been done by many people for a long time. I just decided to try it as kind of a little, I ain't gonna say a joke, but I just wanted to see what would happen. And we killed the fish. You go back and look at those early videos. I took one of my son's friends out this summer, and we killed the fish. And it kind of surprised me. I was reluctant to use it on guide trips, where I was taking people on guide trips, but after a while, I was catching so many fish on it, especially in the summer months. I was catching so many more fish. It's gotten a little closer here in the winter. I thought the cut bait would win in the winter. It hasn't done it yet. Like yesterday was 5-4, so it was close. So, but yeah, I haven't messed with the flavors. I honestly don't think the flavor has anything to do with it. That is just my thinking on it. So, the garlic powder, yeah, Brian. My buddy mentor Mac Byram, he swears by chicken and garlic powder. That's one of his things that he loves. And I had somebody on a guide trip this summer or this fall They brought me some like sirloin steak that was in garlic. It smelled great. It was like I wanted to grill it and eat it. And we caught fish on it. I was amazed how many fish we caught on that stuff. He brought it, he said he used it, and we caught a lot of fish on it. So it's getting expensive using that kind of stuff. But is that one? Anybody been watching that planer board? There's a planer board right there. Y'all tell me if that thing goes under. It looks like it's pulled kind of weird, but we get some weird stuff with the current here. So anyway, they don't like purple Kool-Aid. You've got Palmetto Cast has one of the best thumbnails, and I'm gonna steal it at some point. Of it's a bunch of different like Kool-Aid or Jello flavors and stuff, and it's this multicolored one that is a winter thumbnail. Winter thumbnail. Really like that one. What was he saying? Let's see. Jeremy's asked him, are you still just as surprised on Jello dust? Yes, I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked at how well the stuff works. It amazes me. Toby was asking about guide trips. Go to my website. I've got all the information listed on there. Dieter Melhorn Fishing. After you get off of this feed, just go check it out. And it's got listing, all the info on the guide trips and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Dieter Melhorn Fishing. I do have a fish limit. I don't keep fish over 10 pounds. I'm one of the, I don't know, I'm probably the only guide in the Carolinas that does that. It's just to protect the trophy fish. So I always warn people about that and make sure they know about it. I have not had an issue that I've heard from anybody with it. So, but yeah, check it out, DieterMelhornFishing.com. There's links to the guide stuff, links to my podcast. Y'all go check out my podcast. I'm just doing guests this year. I'm not doing as many of them, but the ones that I'm doing, I've got guests on. So all that stuff's on the website, so y'all can check it out. Plus all the gear and link to YouTube, which you're here at YouTube, so you shouldn't need a link to get to YouTube. But anyway, there we go. Let the boat weight get through me here. Let me see where I'm at here. Dang it, I need to get to that channel edge. I've just stayed on this flat, and I haven't gotten bit. And we've been on here. Sorry, I got a big boat weight coming here. We've been on here 40 minutes. We've not had a bite, which is not totally out of the ordinary of what's been going on. If you forget the website, just remember my name, fishing.com. Shameless plug, shameless plug. See what else we got in here. Sharina, well, one day, maybe, if you're on vacation and we get past all this COVID and you go on a big giant road trip, you can come down here and fish. So it's the cool thing is there's a lot of good fishing guides all around the country, different kinds of water, different kinds of waterways. You know, what I do is a lot of them, mostly, it's reservoir fishing. You guys that are, you know, on rivers, it's a different kind of fishing. So, you know, those guys know how to fish that stuff way better than I do. So it's, it can flatten the, man, what a boat weight. It can flatten your learning curve going with a guide on a guide trip, especially if you got somebody that's willing to share some information with you. We were joking yesterday. Some of y'all may have heard this. I had a young man on the boat. He was 9 with his dad. And I asked him, you know, I said, how much, I always ask people, how much have you fished? You know, that kind of thing. What's your biggest fish? And he said, oh, 10 pounds. And, you know, I'm never one to go, oh, we can beat that, because this time of the year, you don't know what's going to happen. So, anyway, we got out, and, you know, the first 2 hours, we never caught a fish. It's about like the fishing is now. It's bad. You know, we eventually got on one, but I joked with them. I said, some of the best time for learning how to catch fish is when you go with a guide and the fishing is bad, because if they're a good guide, they will bend over backwards. Stayed linked up. My son trying to jump in there with a phone call. But yeah, trying to, they'll bend over backwards to try to catch fish when you got a good guide, especially if it's bad. So anyway, we ended up finally getting on some yesterday. Somebody was asking what was behind me. If they saw something right in here, you can't, well, look and see. You look right there, if you were asking about that, okay, that right there is a drift sock. Basically, as I tell people on my guide trips, it's a water parachute. It's like a parachute that opens up, and it slows the boat down. So I've got wind drifting me blowing me this way, and it basically slows me down as we go up through here. So that's what it is. So that's a small one. I've got a really big one, but because we've got water going this way, wind going this way, I can get by with a very small drift sock today. I've got a big 10-footer for when it's really, really blowing. So there we go. Let's just see. What we got in here? One tip for someone who just started dragging baits. My biggest tip. You can never go too slow, but you can go too fast. Slow the boat down. That is the single biggest key to, that's the single most important thing, is slow the boat down. I'm doing about 0.4, 0.5 today. Water's, cold. I try to always say, take the water temperature. So it's like 46 degrees, 47 degrees. I try to go that speed or slower, put a decimal in front of it. So 0.46 or slower, half a mile an hour or slower. That's kind of my rule of thumb. Going slow, that is the single biggest thing. And you guys trying to do it drifting on rivers, it's a whole different ball game. We're doing this on lakes with a little bit of current from our rivers, but you get into a big river system and all that, that's a whole different ball game than fishing that stuff from a boat. And that's something that's not really in my wheelhouse. There's some guys that are much better at that. Hagen Grubbs got a channel here on YouTube. He does more of that stuff than I do. You can anchor up in it too, which is what I do when I'm in current. But when you're trying to move in that, doing the bottom bouncing and all that kind of stuff, whole different ball game and skill set. Nobody around here really perfects it. We don't really work on it that much because we get intermittent current, and for us, it's a lot better. It's a lot better just anchoring up and fishing it while you getting the water release and stuff. So we got going here. Oh, well, zooming in there. Whoop. I see Patriot Cats is in here. What is up, brother man? Welcome to the show. He's got a tournament coming up that is raising money. I'm gonna look at the date on his. I'm not able to fish his tournament. I've got guide trips that weekend. But Patriot, tell everybody the date on that tournament. I want to say it's in April. I want to say it's an April tournament. You'll be hearing more about that tournament from me, but it's here on Lake Wylie. It's to raise money for a veterans home here where we live at. It's basically it's a home for veterans, kind of a, I guess you would call it a halfway house or something, some of the homeless veterans, that kind of thing, something to help them get back on their feet. So it's a pretty cool program that they got going on. They're trying to, they've got a house, they're redoing the inside of it, and it's a pretty cool program, and all of the proceeds from that tournament are going to that cause. So if you want to beat me in a fishing tournament, come fish it, because I'm going to enter the tournament, even though we won't be able to fish. I'll be on a guide trip, but I'm going to make a donation to the tournament just by entering it. And I think he's given away, if you get entered in time, some dog tags that have your name and the name of a veteran on there if you want. So I've got a special one that I'm doing. And so yeah, check it out. Patriot will have it. I'll have some more videos up about that and let y'all know more on that, because I think it's coming up in April. He probably said it in the chat down here somewhere. So, any tips on guided shark fishing? When COVID allows, I'm moving closer to the beach, Southern Pines, and really want to try shark fishing. Michael, I love shark fishing. I love shark fishing. Bloody and big. One of the things I really need to do a breakdown, because I struggled, and there's nothing out there on the way I rig my stuff up. I use what is called a wind-on leader, which is something they use for great big fish out of like tuna and stuff. Because when I happen with the sharks is I get a tail cut on it and stuff. I'll have to do a video on that. This wind-on leader is really great because it's like a 150-pound line, but you can reel it onto your reel and it's bound together and it's cool, and you don't get tail cut from the shark. So let's say, what are you using, cherry or strawberry chicken breasts? Chicken boobies. I am using strawberry. I'm sticking with the strawberry. It's working. I bought a big old pack of it too, so I think it'll all work. When we get on a consistently decent bite to where We're catching some fish probably in the spring. I may actually do a comparison between some different ones, but I really don't think it matters. So, looks like I'm starting to make I'm getting a little shift in the wind. Let me get my power back on here. Hang on. Let me make sure my little power box is on here. Get my USB. Bear with me, getting power to my camera or to my phone. There we go. Now I got power coming into it. Hopefully it doesn't die on me. One of the cool things, one of the little products I did a video on that is still living on my boat is this little thing. Is this little box. It's actually what I'm powering my camera off of, or my phone. Cigarette lighter plugs, pretty cool. It's got a bunch of these different USB ports and power things. It's at 60%. I have been running this thing on here for 3 months now. I use it to power my phone and some other little stuff. Cool little deal, little battery box. I used to have one off of my, they used on one of my camera batteries, had a little USB on it, but I can power this phone off here. Hopefully it keeps it going. I didn't have it turned on, but I had it plugged in. So anyway, we'll see how long it goes here. Colder than a witch's here. It's not that cold here. It's decent. It's in the 50s today. We've actually got some snow coming. Snow. I mean, like, we're gonna get a dusting of snow tonight. But it's tolerable right now. So somebody asked how long do I keep a batch of chicken? I'll be honest with you. I cut up. I'll leave it in the cooler for 3 or 4 or 5 days. If I cut up like 2 breasts and put them in there and I'm fishing, you know, a couple of trips, I'll just leave them in there. They seem to work fine. So people ask about refreezing it. I don't refreeze it because, I mean, we eat chicken and, you know, it's so cheap to go buy a small pack of chicken that it's really not that expensive to you know, have a couple of them. Let's see what we got here. Chris is asking, I watch all your videos all the time. Man, I love fishing. I love that you watch all of my videos. Thank you. It's very flattering. And I'll tackle use. Which is your favorite and why? Chris, I'll be honest with you. Favorite, I don't know. I don't know if I got a favorite. There's some stuff under the reels I've been using lately that I've really come to like as far as reels. This one is still surprising. I've got it rigged up on a down rod. This is one of the PC Fun Chaos reels. I think it's about $55 and it comes with a power handle. That one is probably the best bang for the buck in my opinion as far as stuff goes. But everything I got works. I mean, I've got Ancient Mariner reels on here, Pinky over here that has been here for, I want to say 4 years now. This reel is still working. It's great. It's fine. The PC Fun spinning stuff that I'm trying out, I love that stuff. This one's a bait feeder. Do y'all know what a bait feeder is? Raise your hand if you know what a bait feeder is. Raise your hand, give me a thumbs up. If not, I'm gonna show you because I think they're pretty cool. I know a lot of people, I'll show you. Hold on. I've actually got a planer board on this one. It's a bait feeder reel, okay? Spinning reel, you know, it's just like a normal spinning reel. It's got its drag up here in the front. The reason I show this is because a lot of people are less intimidated by spinning tackle, and I understand that. Bait casters can be intimidating and also expensive. What this has, one of the things people like on a spinning reel is a clicker. I said I was going to get better at not assuming everybody knows what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to assume everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's the cool thing about doing these videos is people can learn stuff. I'm going to get this one out. This one has what we call a clicker on it. Now, these things are kind of, they can be intimidating to cast because you can get the backlash and all that stuff. But when you say you got it cast out, you still got your thumb button release. It's got this thing that makes this noise. It's a clicker. That line will come off of there. It will stop coming off. But if a fish takes it, it makes that clicking noise. This one's fairly quiet. People like that. Some people like for fish to run with a bait, okay? I'm not a fan of it because I use that right there, circle hook. It's the last thing you do. Catfish do not chew on a bait. They're not like a shark. They do not have teeth. They are engulfers. They engulf a bait. They take it into their mouth. It's either in their mouth or it's not. Sometimes it's on the edge, but most baits, fish are gonna get into their mouth. I don't want them running with something, pulling it, dragging a weight, having a chance to spit the bait before the hook's set. If it's in its mouth and it's taken off, I want the hook set. So, back to my point. This reel. This one has something similar. It's this little deal here. This little lever. That line's out there, okay? It's not coming off unless I loosen the drag, okay? You can see it's coming there, there's the drag. But if I flip this, hear that? That line will come off. You can adjust the tension back here. This thing turns. See how it's coming off now? The planer board's pulling it. You adjust the tension just like you do with the drag, but it's not the drag. You still got your drag up here. So if you like a clicker type deal, don't like a bait caster, you got this. So when it comes time to catch a fish, you crank the handle, boom, it engages it, and you got a fish. So that's what a bait feeder, bait runner, there's a couple of names for them, is. This one is a Carnivore by PC Fun. Again, go to my website, Dieter Melhorn Fishing, go to the gear section. There's links to them on there, and I think they've got a discount or something running on those links. So if you're interested in getting one, that's, I forget why I went in that direction, but that's talking about just education and showing people stuff. That's what a bait feeder, bait runner type reel is. So if you're intimidated by bait casters, they're a pretty good option. But I know what the question was. You were asking about favorite stuff. That's why I don't really have a favorite stuff. I try to use a lot of stuff, and that's why I've got different rods on here. You know, I've got these Catfish Pro. They make a rod and reel combo. That is, I'm gonna catch a fish in the middle of this. They make a rod and reel combo. These don't have the aluminum reel seats like some of these other rods do. Much lighter rod. This is similar like a ugly stick type setup. The reels are not that expensive. I think these rods are 49 bucks. Reels are about the same. So it's a good, affordable combination. That's what I've been trying to do with some of this stuff, is use some gear and some tackle that is a little more affordable, not the most super expensive high-end stuff. So it all works. I'll be honest with you. You asked about favorite. If people send me something that doesn't work and I try it out, if they send me, my rule's always been, if you send me something for free and I try it out and it's really bad, I'll send it back to you or let you know that it's really, I really don't want to use it. Really not going to talk about it. But if I have to go buy it to try it out and it's hideous, I'm going to let the world know. So, you know, a lot of these people have sent me stuff to try, and, you know, this stuff that I'm using, I continue to use it, and it's catching fish. So yeah, anyway, that was a long answer to what's your favorite something or another, but I don't really have a true favorite. So I just like everything that I use. So let's see what else we got in here. Sorry about that. Do I ever fish for anything other than catfish, Jeremy asked. Yeah, I fish for stripers, hybrids. I do saltwater fishing. I do fish for sharks and redfish and speckled trout and black drum, whatever is down there along the Carolina coast. I'm not a bass fisherman. I'm not a casting person for bass. Fish for white perch, crappie, and bluegill. I have videos of this stuff on my channel, but the way my channel is with YouTube and the algorithm and all that, you probably don't get that many served up to you unless you're looking for them or you're a subscriber to the channel. The other alternative, I'll say alternative, the other types of species that I fish for, they don't really get super duper views, but yeah, I fish for a lot of different stuff. All the guiding stuff I do is for catfish, and there may be some people who do chase some sharks and stuff at the beach this summer, so we'll see about doing that. That may be kind of fun, but yeah, this is kind of where I'm at. So Kevin says he got a Cast King Sharky bait runner. I've got a Cast King, what do they call it? I forget the name of it. It's the red Cast King Rover. That's what it is, and that's a pretty good reel for the money too. Somebody was asking about the drift sock. I'm gonna try to do that without dropping the phone in the lake. What a drift sock is, again, is a water parachute, and it's actually underwater right now. Let me unplug this for a second, see what happens. Give you a little tour of the boat while we're at it. what I've got, well, there it is, right there it is. There it is. That's a small one. That's like a, I don't know, 18, 20-inch one. And what I've got is a bow line that's tied. It's tied off to a cleat here, to a cleat here. It makes kind of a Y. It goes out there to the rope that runs out to it. And it's about, I don't know, 10 feet behind the boat. Now I've got another super duper whopper big one back here. That's a 10-foot Easterland drift sock. If it's really bad windy, that's the one that I'm using. Here's one of the anchors that I use. Said I don't have a Steve Douglas super duper golly whopper anchor. I use this one. There's some bait. Hey, little perchies. Hey, Dieter. Are you going to cut our heads off and feed us to the fish? I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, but I want to show you to everybody. And then I do have my Steve Douglas net. I'm going to tell you this, guys. If you buy a net, buy this one. If you're going to spend money to buy a net, buy this one. This is the 80. I didn't get the super big one. Hydro web. It's a huge net. A super duper deep basket on it. It's kind of nastied up from, but you can see that's not even all of it. I got a video on everything. But I got a video about it, comparing it to some of the other nets I use, and it is a good one. If you decide to spend some money, nothing wrong. I used the one I had from Walmart forever. Not Walmart, Bass Pro Shop. Great net, netted lots of fish, but it's a big difference between this net, especially doing what I do out here solo, one-man band deal. It's nice having the bigger net with the bigger basket on it. The opening is virtually the same. Make sure my power's back on. Yep. The opening is virtually the same on the net, but how deep that net is, that basket area, is it makes a difference in getting those longer fish in there and them not doing the tail flap and flapping, pushing themselves out. So that was a long answer to show us your drift sock. So Chris Woolley said, I appreciate all you guys. You're going to let me like or comment, so I want to say thank you for Chris. My comments are turned off. I've got how many people in here? 255. You get to hear the story. My comments are turned off by YouTube. I don't have a choice on it. I've appealed it and talked to them, and I think I just get a robot answer every time I talk to them. And they're not ever going to get turned back on. I've given up on that. That is their deal. It had something to do with some, I don't know, I think they had a pedophile ring or something that was doing something in comments. So a bunch of channels that had any kids in their videos, like me, I had my son fishing in there, got dinged in it. I think I got sucked into this whole thing wrongly, but it is what it is. Life goes on. I try to comment in the community section, and I try to post in the community section, and you can still comment there. So put your comments there. If you need to, I'm one of the few YouTubers that has a Facebook page. I got Dieter Melhorn Fishing on Facebook. You can comment there. You can go to my website, DieterMelhornFishing.com, and you can send me a message there too. So I'm one of the few YouTubers that has all those points of contact. So, and I hate it that the YouTube comments are off, because by grannies, my vow was to answer or respond to every one of them. So it really sucks that it's me of all people, but you know what? It is what it is, and life goes on, and we've got a whole lot of other options to communicate, stay in touch, and answer questions and share information, including here. Woo! You like that? That could be a thumbnail. Look at my thumbnail screen grabs here. Anyway, hope y'all are doing good. Trick Herbie. You recognize that right there? Recognize that? Pinky, still at it. I've had people on guide trips that come on guide trips out here, and they get like selfies with Pinky. Pinky's like legendary. So they'll get like selfies with it and want to catch a fish and get sad if we don't catch a fish on Pinky. So yep, there's Pinky right there. Still going, still going. See who all's in here. It's a good crowd of people. Thank you guys for dropping by. 9 inches of snow in Southwest Virginia tonight. Ricky, that stuff is going to miss us. We're going to get a little bit. We're going to get a couple of inches, or they say a couple of inches northwest of here. We'll probably get a dusting here, maybe a little trace. So, thanks for showing your drift sock setup. Very cool. Yeah, 20. That big 10-footer is what you need on that 21-footer. So, yep, that'll work. That'll work. And I'll say this too. There's another tip for you guys when it comes to drift socks. If you start fishing out of a boat, don't kill yourself in big water. When you get out there in some big water, big waves, running a drift sock off the back is not the smartest thing. And I'm talking like when you start getting out there in 2 or 3 footers, that's when you need to spin it around and be drifting off the bow. Your bow is designed to take waves. The back of a boat is not. A transom is not designed. It can be deadly to anchor off the back of a boat with the anchor. And anchoring, using a drift sock is anchoring in effect. It's a sea anchor. So when you got big waves, 2, 3 footers, when you're on, Santee Cooper, James River, Kerr Lake, Wheeler, and you get those big waves, you need to be doing the drifting and stuff off the bow. So thank you, Rock Bottom Cast. Appreciate that. Just on the feed, depth, water temp, main channel, or creek channels today. I'll give you the rundown, brother. We are actually coming into the river channel right now. I'm into it. We were on the flat earlier. Yeah, I'm into the middle of it now. Water temperature around 47.2. We are drifting on Lake Wylie, right at the mouth of Allison Creek, and kind of drifting kind of to the west where we're at here. We got a wind out of the east, which is going upstream basically, and we got a little bit of current, not that much, but just enough to, just enough to feel it and keep the boat slow with the small drift suck I got out. And I have not caught a thing in through here. I don't think the fish are out here, or at least not biting fish around this river channel. My hope is, any of y'all that fish this lake know, there's an island. I'll show you. Right there, okay? I'm gonna try to use my motor, which I have in the water, by the way. Look over there, my trolling motor. Sit there. I keep the trolling motor in, even when I'm drifting, and use it to kind of control which way the boat's going. I'm gonna try to make a little bit of a turn and go into this area here. It kind of starts, this is kind of a lot of Humpty Dumps out through here. I'm gonna try to make a drag into there to see if there's some fish holding in there. This is definitely not working out here. Somebody's asked about water temperature. 47.2. It's actually dropped just a little bit while we've been here on the feed, but water fluctuates from one place to another, depending on how much sunlight it's getting, that kind of stuff. It's dingy in through here. It is not clear. Even on this lower end of this lake, this stuff is dingy. Steve Douglas, have you, any of y'all? There's a guy here, Steve Douglas, the Catfish dude. Steve Douglas, the Catfish dude. Steve said he's thinking about going on a road trip. Well, Steve, let me tell you, fishing for big catfish takes a lot of knowledge. I'm just kidding. Y'all know who Steve Douglas is, right? He's the Catfish dude, the legend, the man. Yes, Steve, I saw that you were thinking about going somewhere, and I sent you a message about that, and you didn't see it. I told you needed to go to Kerr Lake. Don't listen. You don't listen to me. My name's Dieter. I'm using your net and your pretty rod holders. By the way, that's Steve Douglas character. See those rod holders right there? Those are red, white, and blue monster rod holders. The only red, white, and blue monster rod holders in America. Okay? Right there, baby. Aren't those? Those are incredibly sexy. I'm going to ask you a question in a minute, Steve. I'm going to make you sit there and giggle for a second. There you go. Steve's the one that I was telling you about earlier. That's doing the virtual Catfish conference coming up later this month. But anyway, yes, Steve, I do go to Kerr Lake. You need to go to Kerr Lake. Here's what you need to do. You need to stay at that campground. There's a campground right there where they used, right outside of Clarksville. I think it's Clarksville. I'll PM you after this thing, but there's a campground. It's like Catachaluchi State Park. And they got cabins, nice cabins, with these big long driveways that are angled so you can actually back your boat into it. Super long driveway, easy to get around in that place. They got electricity outside. You can plug your boat in and charge it. Nice cabins. That's where you need to do. You need to stay there. You need to fish, and that's on the upper end of the lake. You're within about 4 miles of the world where the world record blue catfish was caught, and you're within, I can't tell you exactly because I know where it was at, but you're very close to where the world's largest blue cat ever caught in a tournament was caught at. So you're in a good place. So you need to go there and let me know when you come out, and maybe I can wave at you from the road, from a bridge as you go by. I can say, hey, Steve, blow your horn, hey, Steve. Bye. So yeah, you need to go out there and fish. You'll like it. It's a big lake, big water, river section. It's nice. It's fun. It's fun fishing. Y'all check out Steve's channel, Catfish Dude. He's on YouTube. He's actually one of the big reasons that I actually ramped up and started my channel. So there you go. There you go. Old Steve. Let's see. 1 Ton Fishing Club. What's up, brother? Steve is the man. Can't wait to meet him next year. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Tom. He's just as ugly in person as he is in the videos. I thought maybe cameras just made him look better. So, no. Just kidding. Love you, Steve. Got to mess with him. But yeah, check out the Catfish Conference. Steve, you can let everybody know when the virtual Catfish Conference stuff is going on. I think it's a weekend after now. I think it's 2 weeks from now. So, yeah. So they're going to be doing it on a Friday and Saturday because the Catfish Conference, it was just going to be a pain to do it. Just with all the restrictions and stuff in place, which I hate, because the Catfish Conference, y'all try to plan to go in 2022. Hopefully we'll be past all this crap and can get back to it, because it's a great experience, very enjoyable. Get to meet a lot of people, get to see a lot of products. 26th and 27th, there you go. And yeah, Mr. Gadget, I have to give Steve some crap, so he deserves it. So what we got here. Met both you guys at the conference last year. You've both got a face for radio. Eric, and that's why I'm expanding my podcast. So it's why I wear a mask most of the time out here too. So. Now, if all of a sudden I go up to like 400 people watching the show when I do this, that's going to be a bad sign. But anyway. Yeah, Tommy, I don't think anybody wanted to cancel, and I think they were looking for about any way possible. But generally what happens at most of these trade shows that have happened is they start like isolating the booths so you can't actually get into them, and then they start putting traffic lanes in so that traffic goes one way, and they space people out, and then a lot of places are limiting how many people can get in at a time, which could turn into a bunch of people standing outside waiting to get in. And it's just, there's not a fun way to do it. Doing the virtual thing online, it's a compromise. It's something. But there's also a lot of vendors that are stuck with inventory. There's a lot of vendors that, what happens is, for one of these shows, you have to order a lot of this stuff last year to have it in, especially stuff that comes from China because of shipping. Chinese New Year that happens this time of the year is a pain. So a lot of people had to gamble and order inventory for the show, because a lot of these vendors, they'll make 50-60% of their yearly money at the Catfish Conference. So they ordered a lot of stuff last year, so they got this inventory sitting there, which they'll sell eventually, but you're hoping, you get to sell up there during February. So hopefully this will give them an option to, buy some stuff or sell some stuff. So, and I'm sure there's going to be some discounts. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure some people are going to have some incentives. So y'all check out the live feeds that'll be going on during that whole deal. And I'm sure there'll be some promo codes and everything else that you can use to order stuff. And yeah, help these guys out. Because like I said, they're really, Steve's the big dog, No, there's even Steve. He's it's his business. It's not like he's got a board of directors and he doesn't come to the Catfish Conference in a Learjet. Okay, he drives out there in a truck like everybody else. Most of these companies are smaller companies, and a lot of them are very small. So help and support them. They invest a lot of money into this stuff, a sizable chunk of money out of their pockets to have the inventory for this thing. So. Yeah, help them out if you can during all that going on. I just seen Chunky cast. There's Chunky cast. Chunky's probably been here the whole time, and I just didn't see him. Because I'm used to when, I associate Chunky with, like, neon fishing rods, and It's a Small World at Disney World with all the neon bright colors going on. But, yeah, hey, Chunky, what's up? Y'all check Chunky out if you haven't done it already. I think he's probably got 12 million subscribers. He does some really cool live feeds, live streams. He fishes up in Washington, D.C. on the Potomac, and his thing, like I said, is lit up like it's a small world, man. It's just like everything glows in the dark, and he catches fish, and yeah, he's worth checking out and subscribing to. And he does a lot of feeds. So, and generally he catches way more fish than I do today, because this is not good. But I'm coming out now. I'm still in the river channel. I'm making a little bit of a turn. Now I'm in that mode where I'm just like, I'm gonna just keep on doing this for a little while. I am using trolling motor to move the boat. Like I said, I've got if you start getting into hardcore drifting and dragging, there's my other boat back there, that cabin cruiser. Get you a remote for your trolling motor. You gotta have one. It helps get the motor turned. That's what I'm doing here, is kind of getting it at that angle. Gonna get up out of this river channel. There's no life in the deep water today. No life. We're gonna pull up out of it. We dragged through it for the past 30 minutes, and it is not happening. So let's see what we got here. Any of y'all that came in late, Lake Wylie, 47.2 degree water. It has dropped. You notice that? It was like 42.7. Now this is gonna be fun. You're talking about the rock of motion. I got a boat that went by this way, and then that cabin cruiser this way. So y'all try not to get dizzy here. Try not to look at this driving down the road. So, Scott Mitchell just sent me a message. He said he just saw my truck at the ramp. Hopes I do better than he did, which sounds like he didn't do good. And we ain't doing good. I think, though, I'm still optimistic. We're gonna find some fish, because I'm gonna make a run in a minute back into some clean water in this creek and try making a pull back there. So, yeah, let's see what else we gotta use. UFO stopped to look at Chunky. Yeah, y'all gotta check him out. His setup really impressive. Scott Smith asked what lakes I got on. Go to my website, Melhornfishing.com. There's a link on there that tells you the lakes, but I'll tell you real quickly. I do it on Norman, Wateree, Wylie, and I'll do some other places if I'm there and fishing for a while and got something going on. But I don't, somebody's asked about Santee. Yeah, if I'm down there for a week or so fishing, yeah, I'll do it, but I don't consider myself a Santee Cooper guide by any means. There are certain times of year I know where to get in there and catch fish, but it's not something I would do regularly or anything. So, and yeah, some other, I call them guest appearance fishing trips when I show up at the beach or something, shark fishing. But yeah, it's all on my website, Melhornfishing.com. You can check all that out and see if there's some place that you like to fish. A lot of times it's Wylie. Wylie has a good selection of fish between flatheads and blues. They're targetable and catchable here, and I like Wateree too. That's another one that I like to fish. So, Roger, you didn't miss anything, brother. I have not caught a fish during this live stream. I caught one before I started back up in the creek, but I came out here to an area that's I can make a long pull through here is what it comes down to. And that's why I decided to do the live stream here, so I can stay on here without moving. Palmetto Cats, Captain Paul Blackwell, Fish on Guide Service is the best on Santee. Yeah, Paul is who, if somebody's looking to like go this weekend to Santee fishing, Paul's who I send people to. He's down there more and more in tune what's going on and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Paul's a good one. So almost time for a haircut, isn't it? So but yeah, that's kind of the scoop. But yeah, the fishing's not good. It's not good. But I think the creek is where I need to be further up in the creeks. And when I say creeks, these are big creeks. I mean, this is big creek arms on this lake. I'll show you what I'm talking about. People are like, creek, man, you got like 3 feet of water. No, it's not like that. No, it's not like that. I'll show you here on the chart real quick. Little explanation, because like I said, a lot of these terms we take for granted people know, and they may or may not. So here's what we got. So let me get this actually. Let's go to my old school Sonar with not being touchscreen. All right, let's see what we got here. Boom. So here's where we're at. We're out here in the middle of this. Okay, where am I? I'm right there. Okay, so this is the lake. All right, it's the main lake. This here is a creek arm, okay? This is Allison Creek, Little Allison Creek, okay? You can see the mouth of this creek is as big as the lake out here. So, I mean, it's big. And where the fish have been further up in these creek arms, okay? These things are still big up through here. I mean, almost looks like little rivers or something to dump in. So that's what I'm talking about when I say they're up in the creek arms, or at least that's where the biting fish are. The other thing is, it's cleaner water. Not that you can't catch catfish in muddy water, because you obviously can, but I seem to have better luck drifting and dragging baits and catching fish in clearer water. And I did yesterday. It did pay off. Now, the big flathead we caught yesterday, it did come out here on the main lake in muddy water. But, yeah, that's kind of my theory on all of it. Let me get this back up. All right, so we're going to play a game here, see if what y'all think this stuff is, okay? Hopefully Steve's still in here. He can, let's get Steve to chime in. Let's see. All right. What's on the sonar? Catfish Weekly, Lyle. All right, Lyle. What's on my sonar, brother? What are we looking at here? Okay, we're gonna start out with first. We're gonna go with the easy one. Okay, we're in 50 feet of water. Okay, what is this? What is that right there? What is that? Let's chime in with some answers. What is that? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Chill, look. It's a body. It is bait. It is bait. And one of the great things about this stuff is we can we can jump over to this and see that signature. That's a bait. That's a ball of bait. Okay, this one's going to be hard to read. We're not going to go into advanced. We're not going to go into the advanced stuff, but you can see it here. It is very. And there's a predator fish underneath it. Don't know what that is, but definitely. But that's up in the water column. That is some bait fish. Come back out to that while I get the stuff rearranged. On this lake, I pretty much know that's thread fin. It may be this year's gizzard shad, but my money says that it is small thread fin. That's what's in there. So, and the only reason I go over this, I know some people are like, oh, we know what that is, but there's a lot of people that don't know. I get people on the boat all the time that have no clue what we're seeing, what we're looking at here. So we'll go to the next one. This one here, I'm curious what the answer is on this one, okay? What is that? What is that right there? And there. And over there. What is that? What is that? What is that? You'll notice more singularly in the shape of it. There's another one up there. What is that? Suspended fish. That's right. What kind of fish though? 1 ton. We want something specific. They are suspended fish. I'll give you that. If this was Jeopardy, I don't know if they'd accept that answer. What kind of fish are those? What kind of fish are those? Let's see here. Let's go to. Oh. There's a little better signature of them there. What is fish? That's on the downscan. Bunch of people are saying stripers. I'm gonna just tiger shark. I like tiger shark. It's funny, I've never seen one on my sonar at the beach. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what they are. My gut's telling me they're too big for crappie. I got a feeling they may be bass, but they're awful big. The other thing that they could be, typically on and I know my sonar, somebody said carp. It's a good question. That's what one of them is looking like around one of those bait schools. So you can kind of see, it's the kind on this down scan. Typically, crappie start looking like a little dot. It's more of a rounded dot. And I only know that because I fish for them and I catch them around those marks. It's one of the great mysteries of life is what exactly are those? I do have a video out where there's a bunch of those arches. They're actually bigger than that. and they ended up being gar. I ended up catching one. They were massive arches. If you would have seen the signature, you would have said suspended 60-pound blues. And they ended up being gar. And it was this time of the year, cold, and there was just one after another. But it was a very narrow arch. It was not spread out like that one. And they ended up being massive gar. And those could be gar too. That could be gar sitting in there. Gar put off a different signature when they're suspended than normally when gar are out here in the summertime, they're moving around and everything. In the wintertime, they get very lethargic. And these are long-nosed gar, by the way. These are not alligator gar or anything like that. And so that's kind of what it is. I don't really know what those are. Not seeing anything on there that really makes me go nuts as far as fish right here. But I am making my way to these Humpty Dumps. So, and that's where I'm going to see if there's anything before I make my move back to where I was catching fish. Dustin Smith said, Deezer, get out of the deep water and go shallow. We tried shallow this morning. That's actually the area that I was fishing. And I didn't get on anything back there. I think it's in the midsections of the creeks is where the fish are. And the one fish I caught is it was muddy, man. He was coated up in mud. And the ones yesterday weren't that bad. So I don't know. It's just the way winter fishing. Mr. Gadget asked me to have a bait rod in. I had one earlier, and I drugged one around all day yesterday, and I never caught a fish on it. Can you believe that? Not even small catfish, which tells me usually when I put out that perch rod with some little pieces of cut bait on it, I will get even just some small catfish when the bite's halfway decent. Didn't have anything, so it's not on fire. It's not on fire, but we're gonna keep pulling up here and see if we can get onto anything on these little Humpty Dumps. We're up out of the river channel now. There's a whole bunch of stuff over here, some little divots and dips. We're gonna see what happens. If I'm gonna catch one in deep water, it's gonna happen in the next 10 minutes coming across here. So, how's the slime cat reel holding up? Chris is asking. About to invest in 6 and want to stay with one brand. I mean, they're working. Nothing's broke on them. I had one out of the box that I had a hard time getting to cast. I think it took some work to get it dialed in to where it was casting. But other than that, they're working fine. They're very similar to the Lose reels. I'm actually going to do a little profile video on that after Daytona. And they're very similar to those, and they're holding up fine. I don't have them on the boat with me today, but they're holding up fine. So everything's working, nothing broke, nothing's coming apart, and no chunks coming out anywhere. Dang, ain't a fish. I thought I had one back there. I used to be the same way, Chris. I used to have everything had to be like similar on the boat. And somehow, I'm still kind of bad, okay? Still, if you look over here on this side, I've still got like 2 B&M rods and then a big cat fever. And then if you look on this side, I've got 2 of the Catfish Pros and another big cat fever. So I have to have a little bit of evenness to my life. But the bottom line is, I like catching fish. Somebody asked, who do I like in a Super Bowl? Here's the thing, okay? I really want Tom Brady to win. And I'm not a Patriots fan. As a matter of fact, I despise the Patriots. But I would like to see Tom Brady win it just because I say Tom Brady is like he's the only one on the team. Just because I think we're all just witnessing the greatest quarterback of all time. We're all lucky to see somebody like that play, even though he played for the Patriots for most of it. Sorry to all you folks in Boston. I know we got a lot of New England catfishing fans on here. But a lot of us call those bandwagon jumpers. But, oh, that was mean. I'm sorry to all you New England fans. But no, I'd like to see Brady win it. So, who's he play for? Oh, he plays for So, that's really what it's come down to. Just checked a little bit ago. Are you anchored up or dragging? Fishing chick, I'm dragging on somebody else down here on Wylie. And man, since I've done this stream, we've been at it for what? 84 minutes. Haven't caught a fish. Haven't caught a fish. I've only caught one fish so far today. As I said earlier, I came out here to some deep water to try something. Seen that one right bounce a little bit. This is where I'm at is really pig hunting, where we're fishing. So it's really, this is kind of and part of the reason I did this, I knew this was pig hunting out here. I figured if I catch one, it should be a good one. But it also gave me time to get on here and talk. It's kind of tough sometimes when you get here and you're trying to do a live stream, answer questions, talk to people, and you're catching fish all over the place, which is great for you guys. But I know you guys have questions, and since YouTube has my comments turned off, I don't get to answer stuff, so you get to answer stuff here live. So how's the lose reels holding up? Had mine for a year and still going strong. Matt, I've still got them. They're actually in a drawer. I took them off, rotating in and out some of this stuff. They're working fine. I'll probably work them back into the spread at some point. Good reels. I had mine for I don't know how long. I was running those things every day out here on trips. And yeah, the only reason I don't have them out is I've just swapped out some of these other, reels that I'm showing you guys and trying out. So that's the only reason they're not on here. Somebody asked what I think about spillway. What's your opinion on spillway catfishing, James? You can catch them there. There are times when it is some really, really good fishing. If you're in a boat, be careful. I will tell you that right now. People die every year. Any of you guys ever in Tennessee around Fort Loudon, Watts Bar, know what has happened over there the past couple of years with people drowning. So yeah, it can be a good time. It can be tough. It can be snaggy. Usually that stuff's very rocky and eaten out, and it can be tough, but there's a place to catch fish. Sometimes, and usually there's pretty good access there if we're getting down there. I think springtime is the right time to be there for that. Somebody asked about a boat license. You don't get one. At least in the Carolinas, there is no boating license here required, which I find it amazing that you can take a boat out. But yeah, there's no requirement whatsoever for a boating license in the Carolinas. That may vary depending on where you're at in the country, but yeah, you don't have to have one here. Check out Ricky's creation video. He just posted stuff. Trophy for Super Cat Give Back. Super Cat Give Back. Very cool. I will check that out. Yeah, the Super Cat Give Back is the little live tournament that we're going to be doing. Throw the date up there again, Palmetto Cats. I forget what it is. I'm such a bad promo person. I ought to know the date on that. It's in March. Yeah, that's right. It's in March. It's on a Saturday. Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, Palmetto Cats will post that up. I've got a link on my page that kind of is a little teaser to it that you can be sure to check it out. And it's not just me. It's Steve Douglas will be on there, Muddy River Catfishing. There's going to be a bunch of people on there fishing. So, and we got some stupid rule. Like there's some, Chris Flores needed it handicapped for him and his fishing because he can only use 2 rods or something. So we had to fish with 2 rods. So we had to handicap it for him. So anyway, that's kind of the stick there. So at least I can only use 2 rods. Nothing to say I can't have other people there fishing. I've read the rules. That's perfectly legal. So let's see what else we got in here. March 13th. That's right. March 13th. David Hernandez is asking, what are you fishing with? Rods and reels and fishing line. No, I'm just kidding. I have chicken on this side, and I got perch on this side. Fresh white perch, and it's neither one is working. The only fish that's been caught today, one fish, came on chicken, and that was way, way, way earlier. So how far from your boat do you recommend a drift sock being placed for drifting? What's that? J.W. Wren. Good question. I started running mine further back, about 6 to 8 feet. Reason for that being is it gives you some room to work around at the back of the boat if you get a fish coming in at the back of the boat. Now, the one difference is I bring it in much closer when I'm dragging in really deep water, because what happens is the angle of the lines is much steeper, and you'll end up getting lines going through the drift sock. So that's kind of the way I do it. So I think the further back, it helps with some of the sway, and it gives you some room there to operate. So kind of the thing there. Let's see what we got in here. 23 Jordan's asking, so you don't need a boat license in North Carolina. I'm buying a boat right now then. Yep, you do not need a boat license here in the Carolinas. You just have to register the boat with the state. There's a whole registration process, and whenever you buy it, you'll go through all that. But as far as a license, no, there is no license for operating a boat. It's almost scary. Now, I think under a certain age, you have to have a boating safety course or something to be able to operate one. But yeah, there's no license for running one. Let's see what else we got in here. Fire catfishing. Yeah, I can't use but 2 rods in New Mexico. Yeah, that's Flores's excuse. So I mean, whatever, dude. You make up excuses for stuff. So I told him he needs to drive to Colorado or Texas or somewhere. It's not that far of a drive, right? I mean, he can go over there and do it just fine. Adam's asking, is anyone else watching from the toilet? I have watched a lot of live streams from the bathroom, trust me, especially when you're trying to get everything worked in there. Dieter, are you fishing the monster cat in March? No, Donnie, I really don't have any tournament stuff on the radar. I was wanting to fish the ice bowl, had kind of planned on trying to do that this year, but that got postponed because of COVID and everything. And I may end up fishing. I may fish one of the Southeastern Catfish Club ones or something. But if I ended up doing one, it would probably be something, trying to do something fun and entertainment. I have more fun putting together videos. I would rather spend my money and drive up and go fish with Hagen Grubbs and do a collaborative video with him, than I would to go fish a tournament. I just think, like, for you guys, I think it's more entertaining and more fun. Tournaments they're fun to see everybody, but I can see everybody from just going to a tournament and saying, hey, so I don't have to spend the $200 enter. Is this somebody from South Africa? Daniel Arlo from South Africa? All right, he wins the award. I don't think anybody can get any further away than him in this live stream. And I wonder if this is the guy. I had somebody else from South Africa. I don't know if it's the same person that actually had mentioned me in a video. They have catfish. And Daniel, tell us what kind of catfish y'all have down there. They fish for catfish in South Africa, apparently. And somebody had found somebody giving me a shout out from South Africa about something in the video. I think it was with the Santee rigs, which I thought was really cool. I didn't think anybody outside of this country watched this stuff. Maybe a little bit in Europe or something, but I think that's really cool you're watching. Sharp tooth catfish. Sharp tooth catfish. I don't think anybody in this feed besides Daniel has a PB sharp tooth catfish. So that is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you for checking out the channel over there. I don't know how much we can help you with, but you know, we're all brothers in fishing. That's the big thing, man. People worldwide, that is a common unifying thing. There's fishing. And I think people, you know, we're just all fishermen. And if you're ever in America, look us up. And if I'm ever in South Africa, that would be really cool to fish for those things. I almost got to go there on a show one time that I was filming, but it never panned out. That would have been a cool experience, but that's a lot of flying. That is a long way to fly all the way over there. So thank you for checking it out. So what else? Anyone born after 8 requires boater safety. There you go, boater safety course. Let's see what else is in here. Kansas only allows 2 rods per person without purchasing a 3rd rod permit. And I'll be honest with you, we're pretty lucky we can fish with as many as we can fish here. Does it help? Not today, but you know, I think there's a limit to how many I want to fish, to be honest. I got a bunch of rod holders on here. I'll fish about 8 is it. You know, I'll do that anchored up because you can cover a lot of different water and a lot of different stuff. But yeah, that 6 to 8 range is plenty. So I guess I think there's a law of diminishing returns after a while, because you're getting into more and more bait, more and more hassle, more and more time, and I don't know that it makes that big of a difference. So what else we got here? Fire catfishing, South Korea and Guam. You know, I did have some people I noticed a while back that were, when one of the feeds were watching from South Korea, and I think there were some military folks over there that were actually tuning in and checking it out, which is really cool. Really honored to have them watching and stuff over there. A little reminder of home. Yeah, being that far away and all. So, let's see. What else we got in here? Thank you, Eddie, for the good luck wishes. Tommy says, "Are you a fan of Richard Jean?" Yeah, Richard Jean's got he's got the perfect combination of a lot of things going for him. He's got just that Uncle Richard kind of feel and persona about him that you, as a YouTuber, you either got it or you don't. You can't replicate it. And he can fish, man. He can catch fish. He's a good fisherman. Good at catching a lot of different species and stuff. And yeah, he's definitely gotten a lot of traction in the YouTube world and blown up. So yeah, good guy. Good guy. I'd love to meet him sometime if I'm ever in there. So what bait am I using? White perch and chicken love. Woo! Oh, that's a thumbnail. Chicken love. There we go. Little chicken love. Mama's chicken love bait. Yeah, Tommy, the thing is with like Richard, it's something you can't fake. You know, you either got it or you don't, you know, and you know, I just don't have that. I got whatever I am, but you know, that's not something I could come in there and replicate because it comes across fake. You just kind of are who you are. And that's kind of the way YouTube and social media works. You just kind of, somebody's shooting. You just kind of got to go be you, and the people who like you will like you, and the people who don't like you will not like you. And you know, you really can't change that. You just got to be yourself, and that's the way it is, and that's all I do. So. Somebody's asked about the chicken. It's real easy, dude. You just cut it up in little pieces about as big as the end of your thumb. Put 6 or 8 of them in a bag. Sprinkle some powdered Jello on it. You don't have to mix it, cook it, anything. Sprinkle some on, cut some more pieces up, put them in there, add some more to it. Boom, go fishing. So it's really that simple. That is all there is to it. So no cooking, nothing special. I mean, it seems like if you let it sit for a while, it like penetrates it a little bit more or something, but you know, other than that, it's easy. And honestly, guys, I've said this before, I may be dragging a fish on that planer board. Hang on. There's a fish on that planer board. There's a fish. You holler at Ethel in the kitchen, tell her boy's got a fish on. I think there's a fish. I think I've been dragging along a little bitty fish for a while because the planer board's kind of weighted on. Ethel, Dieter's got a fish on. I think we got a fish on. Don't get Ethel out of the kitchen yet. Let's make sure that there's a fish on here. I want to film this. Boom, boom. The little camera's working. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me get this up here. Yep, there's a fish on it. Yep, he is there. Boom, hooked up finally after 9 hours of fishing and a live stream going on. Hooked up. Got here. Let's see what we got here. Not a big one. Small fish. Small fish. But we'll take it. Fish. It's a small one. It's a small one. Listen, if Ethel's baking, just tell her to keep baking. This is not really that. Here. the PC Fun Carnivore reel. Ironically, the same setup that I caught the one other fish I've caught today on. Easy. Easy. We got to get you in here to get on camera. After all this distance. Let's see what we got here. Little bitty feller, come here. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. Let's get on TV. Let's go to the YouTubes. Poor little thing. Poor little thing. Oh. We didn't even get a boga grip. It's just cold chicken. Got him. Chicken. Chicken. Not big. Look at that mud. Look at the mud. Chicken. Chicken fish. Yes. Chicken. A lot of mud. Hey, Chad Ferguson, you watching? Chicken. Larry Muse, you watching? Chicken. Chicken. You can't make this stuff up, folks. It's chicken, man. Drop my clip. Chicken. Chicken. 2.5-inch peg float. That's what that one is. Planer board. Dieter Melhorn fishing planer board. It's actually the same style Zach Royce uses. Good chance to show you my rig. Remember what they say. Any fish caught live is a good fish. It's only a little fish, probably about 6-7 pounds. Mangled piece of chicken. We'll put a fresh piece on there. Yep, Santee drift rig. That's what it looks like in its total length. Hooker's terminal tackle, circle hook, snelled on there. I got videos on how to snell a hook. Can you imagine that? It's just a peg float, 2.5-inch, I believe. 50-pound leader. Then, snap swivel with a Bonetown drifting weight. These are flexible drifting weights. So, anyway, that's the rig. Bouncing it along the bottom on a planer board. The 16-pounder I caught earlier also came on a planer board. Same rod, actually. So, that's kind of interesting. All right, I'm going to show you. Yes, you just missed it. Model man, you just missed it. All right, get ready. Show you. That's how we hook up the chicken. Hook, chicken. Oh, boom. Look at that. Smells great. Tastes wonderful. Don't lick it, people. Do not lick raw chicken. It's a joke. God, I'll probably get demonetized from YouTube for doing that. Lyle, you didn't miss anything, baby. Right there it is, baby. There's the magic. Magic, Lyle. Chicken. Lyle, Catfish Weekly. Chicken. Lyle's favorite bait. Oh, Lyle. Listen, pal. Listen, brother. Y'all check out Catfish Weekly on Monday night. Any of you guys that are new to the catfish scene, check it out Monday night. Live show. Longest running live catfish show on YouTube. Check it out. Lyle does not believe in the chicken. Lyle's going to come out here, hopefully this summer. And I'm gonna make him fish with me. And he's gonna bring whatever the heck he wants to bring. Some skipjack or some shad and I'm gonna use chicken. You know what? On that day, we ain't going fishing. We're gonna take Lyle to school. Oh, man talking smack. Dieter catches a 6-pound fish and he's talking smack, smack, smack. Smack to Lyle, the master. Lyle, make sure Larry Muse watches this video. Somebody PM Chad Ferguson, tell him to tune in. Get him some chicken. Chad was all up in arms over the chicken, man. Chad went, he was like ballistic, man. He's like, he might be vegan or something. You think he's vegan? Is Chad Ferguson a vegan? He don't like to kill chickens or something? One of them vegans that can kill fish but can't kill chickens? That gets complicated. I don't know that. Anyway, putting this back out there. Hang on. All right, so here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal, okay? If y'all can do me any favor today, it'll be this. Remind me in about a minute to flip the bail on that spinning reel so that planer board is not 9 miles out there. Because I know a guy that did that yesterday. Yeah. What happened was we caught a fish. And like I said, I had this young man on the boat on the guide trip. He caught a fish, or we caught a fish, put the planer board back out, and boom, rod goes over. And it was one of the bigger fish. I think it's the 26-pounder. And we're dealing with the fish, getting pictures, high-fiving. And I look, and that planer board is like 9 miles that way. So anyway. That's it going right there. That's the planer board. See that? That's the planer board right over there. So, Kayak Catfish said chicken will never catch big catfish. Well, here's what I tell Kayak Catfish. He's wrong. It will catch big catfish. He's wrong. Listen, there's nothing wrong. If you want to throw a cast net, and cast for skipjack and catch you some skipjack. All right, I'm gonna knock this in gear. There's nothing wrong with going through all that rigmarole and catching all them fish. Thank you for flipping the bell there, Brian. There's nothing wrong with going and doing that. Listen, there are some people that thoroughly enjoy on a 27-degree morning throwing a cast net. Y'all raise your hand if you like throwing a cast net on a nice cold morning. I know some of you do. Go do it, man. Enjoy it. Throw that cast net on a nice cold morning. Some people like throwing a cast net for hours on end when they can't catch bait. It's okay, do it. Flip it now. Yeah, I got it knocked in gear now. But I don't always want to do that. A lot of y'all ain't in a position to do it. You get a torn rotator cuff, shoulder injury, throwing a cast net ain't no fun. You're older, be dangerous. Iced up deck on a boat, not safe. Doing it off the bank, you're gonna wrap it in a stump. Sooner or later, you're gonna pull it back, shred it up. So, but some people enjoy that, and if you enjoy that, go do it. For me, I'll do it now and then. I'll do it when I have to. But I'll take care of my sponsor, Tyson. I wish they were my sponsor. I need me a Tyson wrapped boat. That's what I need. Anyway, where are we? I'm rambling. I'm being funny. I caught a fish. I'm high now. Oh, we gotta hit the clicker. I was not planning on going live this long. But I said to myself, I didn't say it out loud because I didn't want to lie to y'all. I said I was gonna stay on here until I caught a fish. So Planer board's kind of like a bobber. Brian, great question. What a planer board is, similar to a bobber. You can suspend a bait underneath it like you do a bobber. What a planer board does is, if you imagine going down the road and you put your hand out the window and you point it this way, your hand will just sit there. You turn it this way, your hand will want to go that way. If you turn it this way, it'll come in. Same thing is happening in the water. That planer board, because of the angle of the line, gets turned at an angle. And that water coming across it forces it to go out. What it does is it increases the spread of line. So instead of me just having lines going straight out the back of the boat, with a planer board, it will move those lines out away from the boat so you can get a bigger spread. It does two things. One, it helps with just how much water you're covering. It also helps with not getting tangled up. And, you know, when we run multiple lines doing this, you know, I could run several more lines. It helps with reducing getting tangled up. It doesn't eliminate it, but it helps. And with the planer boards, I'm running them with Santee rigs on the bottom. You can do it with suspended baits also underneath them. You can also, Patriot James that was in here earlier has some bobbers that you can actually run in conjunction with the planer board. So there's a lot of different options on what you can do. It's just another tool. You don't have to do it, but days like today when the wind's fairly calm, you can really spread it out. And I heard somebody say, "Hey Junior." Hey Junior, that's a country song if I've ever heard of one. But this is Junior Proctor, Blue Dog Fishing. And speaking of planer boards, it's almost like serendipitous that he shows up now. He makes a planer board. I don't have any, but he makes one. His is one to check out. So Junior's somewhere up in there. Where's that little sucker at? There he is, Junior Proctor, Blue Dog Fishing. Got a YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Hey Junior, hey Junior, that needs to be your intro for your channel. Junior Proctor, Blue Dog Fishing. Y'all check out his planer boards. Junior, put a link up. Well, you can't put a link up. Tell him about them, all that kind of stuff. If you're interested in planer boards, he actually makes some that are supposed to be pretty cool. Like I said, I don't have any, so I don't even know what they look like. I've heard they're pretty cool. So, but they're cool. People, there's different kinds, different styles. One thing to be careful of, a lot of you guys, if you go looking for them, you'll come across some that are really designed for like crappie fishing, striper fishing, for pulling small baits, and they'll be little bitty boards. And they're not exactly what you need for this, especially if you're dragging Santee rigs that are on the bottom, because you're going to have a lot more weight and a lot more drag against those things. So you need something that's a little bit bigger. Junior knows what he's doing. He catches big fish, big catfish, and he knows how to build a planer board that works. So that's probably what people are talking about. I just hear that they're talking about them and that they're good. So check them out. Check them out. Hey, Junior. Hey, Junior. Junior, throw your number up here. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. It's okay. It's my feed. You can throw your number or email address or website or however they contact you. I ain't gonna make fun of you for doing it. I told you to. Hey, Junior. Hey, Junior was gonna be on Morgan Wallen. Funny about this story. Somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, did you hear what Morgan?" I thought they said Wallace. And wait a minute, getting a bite. Nope, snagging on something. Yeah, if that's going to be on his next album, oh well. No, Hey Junior, it's going to be my song. But yeah, they said the name, and I was thinking of, is he related to George Wallace? But then it was Wallen, and then I had no clue who he was at that point. So, B-Cat boards. I have used B-Cat boards. Those are good ones too. I've actually got those in some videos that I did. Actually one of those, funny story. I seen y'all in there from B-Cat. Brian's in there. I lost one of their boards, okay, and lost one of their boards, hit them up, wanted to get another one, and I don't know, I forget how it happened. I was talking with them at BCAT, and they let me know that somebody had reached, well, I think it had their name on it, reached out to them that they had found my board on the beach or something on Lake Wylie. Well, it turns out the person who found it actually knows my wife. But they didn't know it was my board because I didn't write my name on them like I do now, which I tell everybody to do with planer boards. Put your name and phone number on it. So, funny story. Carolina Outdoors water temperature is 47.5. It's fluctuating, sitting right around 47 degrees out here. Pretty chilly where I'm at in this area. It is dingy, muddy, kind of stained, not pretty. The creeks up into this creek here where I'm going to wind up here in a few minutes is a little bit clearer, and that's probably where I'm going to end up going here in a minute to finish out the day. So, Michael Harris, I'm shopping for catfish rods too. Dude, I've got a sample of every one of them on the boat. So, not every one of them, but I got a bunch of them on here, a bunch of them to check out. So, yeah, take a look around, pick one. They all work, they all catch fish. I've never had a fishing rod on my boat that won't catch a fish. It's guaranteed for you. Guarantee. We use planer boards all the time, fishing on actually for salmon and trout. Yes, sir. Planer boards are a good tool to learn how to use. There's a little bit of tricks to them, and they're all different. B-Cats and the ones that Junior's got and the ones that Zach Roy's got, they're all a little bit different. And I think they all got a little different appeal to different people and how they fish. I know several people that carry different types of planer boards depending on what the conditions are. And what I mean by that is, depending on how you're trolling and how you're dragging baits, wind affects planer boards differently. Some planer boards are affected by wind, and what will happen is if you've got a crosswind going on, it will blow that outside board in. The wind will catch it depending on the size and the shape of it. And you'll have one out, instead of being like evenly out like that, you'll have one that's stacked over to this side. And then some of them pull bait better, and they like different ones with different size. I don't know what the metal piece is or the plastic piece, rudder, blade, whatever it is, the piece that's underwater, that size varies. So it actually helps if you're going to get serious about it, trying out a couple of different kinds to see what works and what works in different conditions. So the one thing I will say, what I was getting to earlier, was the small ones are the ones to avoid if you're fishing for catfish. Water bugs is one that I got early on. Those are really more designed for live bait, striper fishing, that type of thing. Not really designed for what we're doing. The ones like B-Cat, like Zach Royce's boards, the ones that Junior have, those are designed for catching catfish. Bear boards is another one that I tried and have used. It's another one. Little different design, like I said, little subtle differences in all of them. The other thing is the clips. That's another thing. All of them have different kinds of clips on them. You can swap those out. How they attach to the line's a little bit different. Like these have the little curly Q thing. Some of them have a snap. So it's a lot of little varieties there, stuff. That's one thing I wish we had the Catfish Conference. You could look at these things and see them. I may do now that I've got a bunch of them, I'm gonna get a hold of Juniors and we're gonna do a video. And I did one a while back, but I'm gonna show all the different ones and just kind of how they look and what the different sizes and all that stuff are on them, because they will all work. Some of them will work better for you and your type of fishing. You can use those things when you're anchored up in river current. Believe it or not, you can get anchored up, and if you've got current, you can, is that rod moving? You can use those rods to actually, you can put them in the water and the current will pull them over to the bank. You can actually swim a bait right over next to the bank. And very effective tool that anybody can use. I guess you could get to use, I don't know if you could really use it. It'd be hard to use one from the bank. I don't think you could get enough current to swim it out. Maybe you could. Maybe you could if you had some current you were on the bank. I don't think if you could get the angle on it enough to drag it out there. I don't know. Anyway. More thinking out loud. Woo! Well, guys, we made a long run, a long drag through here. I'm going to jump off here. I'm about hoarse from talking for this long. This is my little training for the live fishing deal that's going to be 2 hours long. I think on that day, I'm not going to talk as much. I got to figure out something. Palmetto Cast, you got to figure out me a way to have a segue, a break, roll a commercial. So take a sip of my drink there. Great crowd of people though. Thoughts on Cherokee Lake? Never been there. I've had some people ask about that. I believe that's the one that's over into Tennessee on the upper reaches of the river, if I'm not mistaken. I've never been there. I've looked at it on a Navionics chart, It looks like it would be a pretty lake to fish, but I have never fished it. So anyway, I'm gonna jump off here, guys. Thank you so much for dropping in. Go to DieterMelhornFishing.com if you want to check out any of the podcast or the gear or the guide trip stuff. Most of all, the sponsors. Check out any of those sponsors on there, and especially the illumination stuff from Hybrid Light, some cool stuff. I was going to get around to that today, but I'm going to save that for another video. We'll talk about it then. So for now, I am